The grand final, everybody. Best of 5 between the former ELL teammates LawLiet and 120 Night Elf vs Undead in the grand final once again, as if this would be Europe, Remo.
Hopefully it's going to be nice and epic, as Foggy and Happy always, or oftentimes, provide us these finals to be. One of those DreamHack Grand Finals, it was a 3-hour best of 5. And we didn't have too many breaks, really, or technical issues. It was just super long games. That would be a nice epic culmination to this whole tournament.
I 100% agree. LawLiet, though, very different from Foggy, and 120 also different from Happy, so we can expect a different series right here. This was the bracket. This is the bracket. LawLiet has defeated Fortitude and Lin in the process of reaching this grand final. 120 coming from the bottom side. He has defeated 2 Night Elves already. 2-1 versus Moon, 2-1 versus Foggy. He is certainly a threat to all the Night Elves in the world.
Yeah, absolutely, and considering their most recent encounters, perhaps also a special threat to LawLiet. One time that they met recently, LawLiet tried it with Orc, thought, hey, that looks pretty promising, but that didn't work out too well. That also in the mix, they play each other 10 times this year, and LawLiet only won one single series. One of those games was even a draw, the group stage of WGL. But other than that, LawLiet was only able to win one single series indeed. So it is fair to say 120 has had LawLiet's number now for a while, seemingly going into this as the favorite. This also slightly represented in the ELO rankings. 4th place for 120, 8th place for LawLiet though. He is close behind.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we kick this off on the beautiful map Tide Hunters. We're getting very excited for genies at the marketplace. Good game, good luck, have fun. Fair play between the two friends. We got 120 as the undead at the bottom right-hand side, looking for his, I don't know at this point, man, 25th title this year. It's been an amazing year for 120. Just the big one. The Gold League didn't go his way, really, but almost everything else. And LawLiet still waiting for his big premier Tier 1 title. Will it be today? Will he succeed just like Focus did last winter to grab his first big title, first big solo title, as he won many team games before? We'll see what this is. And is it Keeper? Is it Demon Hunter? Is it Warden with LawLiet? It could be all.
On this map specifically for creeping, the Keeper works out really well, and it is the Keeper. If we make it to Terrana Stand or Echo, I am pretty sure if we see both maps, we're going to see at least one Warden. I'm pretty sure. You know me, I'm a big hater of the Warden, but LawLiet plays her so well every matchup, also in this one, that it could be good to throw her in. And I think even Moon did it recently on Terrana Stand, but wouldn't be too surprised to see that vetoed. We'll see how that goes as the series progresses. So far, everything is looking very standard. DK Ghouls against Keeper.
Yeah, and looks like 120 is also expecting a Keeper play here by how his base was built, walling off at the sides to force the Keeper to go through the middle and give a lot of exposure to an upcoming narrow tower. Is this already a threat? 120 with the Acolyte Scout against Foggy didn't do that, but that mistake was fixed. And he's luring out that Berserker already, taking a bit of damage off the Night Elf. But, you know, might save him a second or so.
This is the newest little trick from the Undeads. This just slows down creeping by a tiny amount. And the way you do it is, the way you get aggro over the Ancient of War is you use Unsummon on one of your buildings. And then suddenly the creeps get super aggro triggered and they follow you. And that way you can slow down the enemies creeping just by a little bit. As 120's creeping starts at the early camps here himself. He is definitely quite inspired by Happy. We saw that plenty of times, but this simultaneous creeping with Backpack is something he hasn't picked up so much.
Yeah, I haven't seen that from him as well. Good point. We move into the middle of the map for LawLiet, as with Treants you can snipe these turtles so easily. So could you with ghouls and skeletons, but might be time to get them away. Oh, Wisp is coming. Might disrupt creeping, but the skeletons are safe, or were safe. Nice blitz. 120. Oh, big range on the skeletons. Got 2 eventually.
Good patience there by 1-0 as well, not wasting the coils. It always feels bad when the coils fly into nowhere and the wisps just turn into buildings. And now LawLiet trying to pick off some ghouls. You saw earlier how Foggy was able to pressure early with level 2 Keeper and get an expansion up at the same time. Those were honestly pretty good early games for Foggy. But so far we don't see the Tree of Life coming up yet.
Okay, we're moving into the early mid-game, late game, or late early game, early mid-game stages. Which of course means we're getting closer and closer to the marketplace. We all see the beauty there. Tier 2 on the way, should be finishing soon. This is probably Ultra Vision upgrade. And Huntress.
Yeah, this is not the norm in this matchup. Usually we see archers into dryads. Huntresses are going to have more of an impact early game, are going to be very good for controlling the map, but will fall off heavily later against Fiends and Orb. And now, of course, more expensive. That also means that mass air is a possibility. Hunts into mass air has been a popular strategy, kind of popular for a while now.
And LawLiet played this verse happy in the best of 3 in the ESL Cup, which LawLiet won on European servers, which was quite a banger series. You can basically play it all. 1-0 also incredible against that style. Not too sure if I would play mass air against him.
Yeah, I think it's kind of been figured out by now, honestly. And also, if you play hunts into mass air, that means you're either going to play a Demon Hunter late or no Demon Hunter at all. And I think you need Demon Hunter to make that work. If you can in any way. Great drops for LawLiet. This certainly helps out. Mantle plus the claws. Slippers for the DK. The drops here for 1-0 have been spectacularly bad. But at least the experience is looking okay.
Kind of the same pattern as 1-0 had in the semi-final, right? Where Foggy's items were clearly superior. But okay, creeping with hunts, very, very easy. Expo coming up. And 1-0 is getting level 3. Good progress.
Yeah. He still doesn't have bonus damage or bonus intelligence. Finding the cloak here. After double ring and slippers.
But we know how amazing the cloak is, Remo. Slaughterhouse, tier 3, Lich, the norm. Oh, almost a surround as he had the trap set up for exactly that purpose, but cloak comes in handy.
Here, the cloak, there we go. But he can send something to the lab and then should work out fine. Nice little trap here by LawLiet.
How...
He knows the DK wants to come into a Raz and he's ready.
How awkward this situation is for the keeper. He's the only one who can't hide. Like, guys, where are you? What are you doing? Okay, now the reveal. Now the TP. And that is a big item gone.
Poor Centaur. Feeling left out. Well, in these graphics, it's not really a Centaur. It's more like a dude on an elk.
It's true. Maybe it's Joe Rogan.
I'm not sure that he lets them live for so long.
Ooh, entangle
It's
again.
a Panda again.
What did we miss that all the Night Elves are playing Panda second?
Yeah, is this the new meta?
It's so funny
Maybe
that like 6 weeks ago or something, we were tinkering with the idea of going Demon Hunter first because he was so important, and all of a sudden he's out of that matchup.
Yeah, maybe it again has to do with the late tech. Because the Hunter's opening, the tech is going to be later, and then playing a Demon Hunter late when you can't creep is not a good feeling. Keeper staff's back, the DK trying to harass, has a healing potion, might need it, is so close to that level.
Oh, Devotion Aura, absolutely excellent damage mitigation versus Undead, always good to have. Especially if it's an Aura. But 1-0 is of course aware of this expansion, mustering an attack, and see the fairies coming in.
Mass Air. Panda, interesting. Okay. I think that's the first time I'm ever seeing that. That means that you're not just going to rely on right clicks that can be mitigated by armor upgrades on the Fiends, but also you have some spell damage. This hero combo, Panda and Keeper, very, very spell reliant. If the fight drags on for long enough and the Undead keeps kiting and the Night Elf runs out of mana, there's going to be no chance to win the fight anymore. So LawLiet can only fight as long as he has mana in this game.
I am starting a huge hatred. Ah, there they are! Hello, Genie! The most beautiful reforged model right in the center of the screen. Not for much longer. Ah, Isn't that gorgeous, Remo? Isn't that the best model you can imagine?
Amazing, yeah. Just simply
It
amazing.
is. It is.
It looks like the Enigma from Dota as well, right?
It looks like Genie.
Did you see the new Aladdin?
Of course not.
Still such a hater for the new movie.
I absolutely am. Rightfully so. All trash.
1-0 is trying to counter expand over here, and for that the Panda could come in really handy. Panda with Breath of Fire against buildings, we've all seen it many a time. And LawLiet figures out early what's going on. Moon was not able to find the proper transition with his mass air style for the most part. We'll see how LawLiet manages it.
If he keeps the possible expansion down, he has a decent shot of managing this. As this expansion is running for quite a while, and he scouts it, and he's attacking it. But 1-0 is right there, taking good care.
Yeah, not losing the Acolyte here is important. Being on one base only, the Undead is pretty broke at all times, so you really don't want to lose any units unnecessarily. Panda has been creeping up real diligently. What did he find? Something +6, right? Oh yeah, Quel'Thalas, that's horrible. But he's got good experience.
Lich found the first damage boosting item, by the way, Claw +9. That's kind of nice. And Lich level 3, so Coil Nova is getting kind of scary here. But again, an Entangle. Did he rebuy a TP? He didn't. Only a potion. But the Destroyer is there to the rescue.
If he had gotten surrounded, he might have died. That was definitely a bit scary, but he gets out. The army for LawLiet not quite that huge yet. With mass air, you want to ideally fight at 70, 80 supply. It can be very overpowering. 1-0 wants to build the expansion, build the economy, and then make a lot of fiends to counter these fairy dragons.
Oh yeah, and then excellent kiting would be a great help if you catch that Panda, but Staff is ready. Only little damage on the ground, but Panda level 3.8. What a big weapon this guy has turned into.
Ooh, the keeper might be forced into the TP. Heal scroll needed outside of the fight. Couldn't help the units. Keeper still in trouble. 3 HP. Jesus Christ.
Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire on the units. But first heal scroll, I guess, was used. Big repair, but also big Nova. Level 4 on the DK. And now not many wisps remaining here. And the forces of LawLiet don't seem to be enough yet.
Kinda runs in again, takes a beating right away. Gets to level 4 though, half HP still. Lots of nuke was wasted, sort of. One of the wind being used, Keeper out of the fight for just a little while. 1-0 kiting back. He's got the level 2 aura here, very importantly.
LawLiet holds for now. Still at 60. But 1-0 continues the pressure. Statues, of course, worth 1,000,000 gold now. This Expo might be about to fall.
Is it just me? Or does this mass air just look bad?
Let's see. This Panda certainly looks bad. Was the staff on cooldown? Probably. Panda goes down. And yeah, this mass air is certainly not working this game. I've seen it stronger, but that was... I'm still a decent fan of playing it with an Alchemist, but it has, of course, other downsides. But yeah, you either need a huge mass, which you never got, or insane upgrades, which you never had the time for, or some kind of minus armor, which you never had, so... Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Shredder has 2 HP. Come on. Oof. Staff. Alright. It just seems like you don't have damage. And I mean, you went Panda, you wanted damage, but you also need the mana burn so badly with this strategy. It just seems like you're missing one of two crucial things, either damage or burn, and a good undead is just going to punish you for it.
Yeah, certainly agree. And especially if the kiting game is as strong as 1-2-0's. He might even be the best against this style in the world. Of course, Happy is sick, but 1-2-0 seems like he knows every single step he has to take. And that is a 1-0 for 1-2-0.
Solid performance. Little bit of a highlight play there by LawLiet, getting that TP off of the DK. There was a nice ambush where he forced the opponent away, but the expansion, it didn't seem that early for LawLiet. He wasn't able to get that big 70 supply push. Maybe he shouldn't have gone for the Shredder and gone for the late game too much, but rather go for 60 supply, heal scroll, and then be aggressive with the Panda, cancel the expansion. But that's the difficulty here with this mass air style. When do you attack? When do you play passive? Where do you find the transition? And I think that's one of the big problems with the strategy. First of all, it's not very strong to begin with against Fiends. And secondly, it doesn't have that clear follow-up that Dryads do. With the Dryad Expo, you just expand, you pump out Dryads like crazy, 70 supply, and once you feel safe, you go tier 3, and then you have a nice transition into Bears. But here the Fairies, you're just on a timer. At some point, you're just going to get completely outclassed. Unless you have a Demon Hunter, then maybe not. But otherwise, the Undead Heroes are just going to take over.
Yeah, that didn't look too promising. Maybe it's kind of rough to say, right? Do you want to hide strategies and timings for DreamHack, or do you want to focus on this very tournament, as replays might not be available until DreamHack, of course? What we can say is that LawLiet is not focused on one specific style. He could switch pretty much everything about his game on the next map.
Yeah, LawLiet is also one of the very few players who can still make Demon Hunter plus Panda or Demon Hunter plus Naga one base work. I think he has the best one base micro in the world, meaning small army control, like 40 to 55, 60 supply. That's also what he showed in that game against Happy in the ESL Open Cup we referenced earlier. On Autumn Leaves, he played that kind of a game. Map number 2 will not be Autumn Leaves. We don't have that here. It's going to be Echo Isles. And that could be a return to the Warden, perhaps.
Yes, depending on the starting position on the right-hand side, likely-ish. On the left-hand side, probably Keeper. But we'll
on the left-hand side, the big difficulty is especially against Human, because they can just call a Militia to try to cancel. The Undead commitment to try to cancel the Ancient of War is a lot higher. It's going to be a Ghoul at the beginning, which is going to completely mess with your lumber economy. You can still do it, but it's pretty risky.
Let's go, everybody! 1-0 for the Undead. One step closer to another big tournament victory. Could crown an incredibly successful year. This might be one of 120's last tournament of the year. And he's up there in the earnings. He's second best in China, close to 50,000. Okay, with this tournament, he's surpassing Colorful actually and becomes the #1 Chinese player. Still behind Lin. Oh, actually surpassing Lin and Moon if he wins. But yeah.
What hero do we get?
What hero do we get, Remo? That's a good question. I think it's Warden time.
Demon Hunter.
There she is. I know my man, LawLiet. Warden lady versus 120. Okay, now we're talking. He's switching up he is switching up everything from first hero to army comp. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, he's going for the Merc Camp creep. As mentioned, against Undead, it's not very likely that they're gonna try to cancel it. It's really risky to send over the first Ghoul. If the Acolyte comes over to scout it, you can still deal with it. It's not that big of a problem. What this means is 120 could very easily fast expand if he wants to. LawLiet could, of course, counter expand later, but it's going to be pretty far behind economically if it should come to that.
Is he willing to do so? 120, certainly a guy who likes this more than a Happy, for example. I wouldn't be too surprised, so we'll keep an eye on for another Acolyte. Warden comes in. I'm not too sure if he saw that.
I don't believe he did. He doesn't seem to care. With this starting creep route, you can be pretty much sure it's not going to be a Keeper. It's always going to be Demon or Warden. And here we go. Fast expansion by 120.
Okie dokie, got the skull. Does he have a second one? Yes, he does. Warden with the Telephone of Evasion. Not the greatest. Oh, holding on for that detonate. Not using it yet.
Yeah, I like the patience here. Even if you use the detonate, maybe he gets the skelly, but killing the blight here doesn't matter because the ziggurat is going to finish because the Nile is taking the big camp. If you creep the green at the beginning, you're going to be done fast and then you can harass, but if you creep the merc, you take too long and there's nothing you can do about this. Counter expansion coming up right away. 1-0 now running across the map. 1-0 struggling with lumber. I think he brought perhaps too many ghouls to the expansion creep.
Or did he just start the tech? Maybe, but with an expansion, not really. Interesting situation. Warden could pick up some of the units here, wants to get level 3 as fast as possible, but is this Expo holdable against all these ghouls? I don't think so.
He's thinking about a Berserker as well. 1900 hours, it's about to be ready. Expo cancelled, and LawLiet, or rather 1-0 gets the Berserker. If he gets the Wisp, that's level 2. He has to detonate. Oh, gets it.
Okay, this Moonwell is also gonna fall. This is a horrible, horrible game for LawLiet thus far. Warden can't creep, Expo not up. Moonwell cancelled as well. All his timings are kind of screwed.
And now the Haunted is coming. The Warden needs his level 3 so badly, but can't get it right now. 1-0 with really crisp movement. Quick creeping off the expansion, even bringing 4 ghouls, then running right over. Maybe that was the right call. Maybe delaying the expansion by a bit to be creeping faster with a 4th ghoul. Maybe that is the right idea. 1-0 comes super prepared here for this Echo Isles game.
Yeah, and this might be the last time in a while that we see LawLiet with the Warden on this map. It seems like it's not working thus far, but of course a Warden hero that takes time to get online. But 1-0 is doing such an excellent job in keeping LawLiet busy.
You can see the last hit there on the Murloc as well if he wants. Warden getting pressured, and DK, did he steal it? I think he did, right? Level 2.1, yeah, he got the ring.
Oh,
the Warden
wow.
needs just that little bit more. Doesn't want to lose the Ancient of War. If the Ancient of War falls and the expansion is cancelled, that's game.
And he's sharking around, and he's finding it again. And there's no way to prevent this. What an incredible performance by 1-0 so far.
Yeah, that's the downside of the Warden. Like, yeah, you can be okay in the mid game, but if your expansion gets pressured, if you're under trouble, that's how it goes. And LawLiet, you know, taking a gamble on this map. He was basically hoping for 1-0 to mess up, but he didn't mess up.
Man, fuel to the fire, Mr. Remo Demo, as if he knows what he's talking about. Was 100% correct on this.
Yeah, if he had gone for the Demon Hunter first, by the way, he would have cleared this camp more quickly with like a mana burn and right clicks and all that. And he could have gotten level 3 probably reliably, and then you can try to make use of the boots and control the map pretty well, get Panda second, try to go for later expansion with a faster tier 2, play it a bit safer. But LawLiet wanted to be flashy with his Warden. I don't blame him, he's really good with that. I think Terrana Stand is the much better map for the Warden, honestly. You get the consumable right away, you get level 3, perhaps a bit faster, and of course the Undead can't quite expand so easily as on Echo. But is Terrana Stand in the pool? Perhaps not. The first Warden attempt doesn't work out, and that's 3 match points for 1-2-0.
Wow, that is so hard to do now. You know you have kind of like a mental block in finals anyway. You know that you oftentimes lose against your opponent. You also know that it's such a big chance and there's so much money on the line, and now you have to win 3 maps in a row against this beast 1-0 in this matchup. Ay. Future is not looking too bright for LawLiet again.
Would be an epic comeback though if he mounts it here. He has sort of done it before. But it might be the next loss, the 10th out of 11. No, wait, the 9th out of 11 against 1-0 in recent encounters. We go to map number 3, Last Refuge. What are we going to be seeing here? This is actually a pretty good map for Demon Hunter first, old school 1-base bears. I'd like to see that here from LawLiet.
Okay, that would be the 3rd different strategy in 3 games, but thus far his 2 off-meta strats haven't worked out yet. He's with his back against. That's his last chance. He has to win this one.
Has to win here now and start his comeback, perhaps. Of course, Keeper Dryad expansion, that can always work. On every map, it's always playable. But here, it's not necessarily the best map for it, because the Keeper can struggle on his way to level 2 already, especially if the DK is playing aggressively. But that's something we've seen from 120's play now already. He doesn't really tend to do that, being level 1 aggressive with a DK. So with that in mind, the Keeper actually would be also a good choice if 120 keeps playing that way.
Whew, what's the decision, LawLiet? Keeper? Warden again? Demon Hunter? You can do it all. But what's the choice? What's the hero roulette gonna tell us? Okay. Damn, Discord is not really reliable today. Losing the connection to Remo Demo again. There we go.
Ah, here we go again.
Yes. Nice of you to ask me on Discord if Discord is dead.
Yeah, well, I mean the voice, of course. I think you.
The voice was dead. Yes, the whole program just crash and burn, just like LawLiet so far in this grand final. It is a keeper now.
It sure is. Acolyte Scout, seeing what's going on. I think he partly skipped that against Foggy earlier. Not here, however. If the Keeper goes for Entangle first, then he has a really tough time creeping up the following camps. And this is partly what the Acolyte is supposed to bait. Be annoying, slow down the creeping a bit, maybe bait Entangle first. Oh, look at that, perfectly timed. Pulls out the Trapper at the perfect moment, and that's those little seconds that can count later.
Always. On this level, it is so tough to get an advantage early on. Let's see if the Keeper is creating some space later on, as he oftentimes did in recent history, but 120 already with that forward ziggurat that will turn into a narrow tower if he so desires. And mate, we get backpack here.
Yeah, interesting. In the third game of the grand final, he shows it for the first time. He hasn't done so before. And if this was intentional, this was pretty genius. If he intentionally didn't show the backpack before and was trying to bait a Keeper first to then come harass it, that would be pretty genius. And every last hit here right now matters, which is why the Acolyte is trying to be saved. One Wisp goes down, and this tech for LawLiet is going to be a bit delayed. But also 120's tier 2, slightly delayed because of the backpack.
Okay, so they find themselves on almost even footing at the moment. Of course, no big creeping for 120 just yet. No big steals here. Trying to drain some moon juice, because every single drop means less mana for the Keeper. Oh, finds an opening here. Wow, sick reflex. Wisp saved.
Yeah, that's a great mental play as well. It also feels really good as the Undead when you time it perfectly, the coil and the right click of the Skelly, and then you get the last hit and then have a chance to heal. Oof! But the other way around. Just slightly mistimed there by 120, and LawLiet finally gets his level 2. We have the Huntresses again.
Wow, yeah, there is a chance that we see Mass Air once more. We've seen it here against 120 a couple of times with epic kiting from the upper left-hand side where we are now to 120's base all the way. I enjoy that so much. This, like, just from an observer standpoint, these Undead versus Night Elf Mass Air kiting sequences from 120, just gorgeous Undead play.
Level 2 now for the DK, picking up some more items. Sentry Ward, great drop. Not quite sure what he got from the green. No ring this time. There we go. Attack.
Finally a claw for sure. And yeah, LawLiet has to make an expansion work again. One base, Mass Air. It's pretty much a default loss.
Yeah. With the Keeper first, whether it's Mass Air or anything else, you need that Expo. He's just going to be too weak in the late game. There it is. Expansion coming up, not scouted yet. 1-0 does not at all prioritize trying to get the Expo cancels, regardless of timing, which is pretty interesting.
Also, didn't do that against Foggy, right? So that would be quite an anti-Night Elf tournament for him. First taking out Moon, then taking out Foggy, then taking out LawLiet. Probably practicing quite a bit with a strong guy called Colorful.
Yeah, looking really, really good here. He's going to get level 3 DK, the third permanent item for him to give forward to the Lich. 2 good ones, 1 bad one. Alright, seems to be well balanced as the Keeper got level 3 as well. And is looking for a pound of flesh. One of these ghouls especially could be taken out easily. There's a sentry on the high ground.
Nice. Good position indeed. Lots of vision. But yeah, this is just the calm before the storm. Nobody is really ready to engage yet. And once again, the Panda. No Demon Hunter in 2 Night Elf versus Undead series, Remo. This is crazy town.
Yeah, once again, the delayed tech, the Hunters and all that. This DK is coming to harass with level 3 and almost full mana. He's got the sentry, he sees what's going on. Over at the Merc camp, sees that there's nothing there to steal at the moment, and they're just going to come over. The Keeper was trying to create space for the Panda to creep, but he's got no mana anymore.
Not happening.
This is a disastrous game.
Yeah,
this is so bad.
This is a disastrous series. Like, every single game was just horrendous.
The Mass AR once more, and at this point I have to wonder, does this have to do with strats for DreamHack? It does kind of feel that way. Oh, Keeper getting greeted. That might be the TP force chasing after with the next Coil Nova. He would be falling. Oh, but he's got the staff. That's an early staff. Alright. Good value.
Oh man, 1-0 seems so ready. Not threatened at all. Not shaken at all. Just pressuring with a couple of heroes and a couple of skellies. There's no wisps around to detonate, so it is a lot of damage. And man, this entangle is getting cancelled. It's a nightmare.
Alright, he surrounds the Lich here, I think, but he can just transfer the TP. Transfer something else. Alright, there we go. TP now transferred. Canceling the entangle perhaps one more time. Whoa! Sick grand final series here by 1-0. He seems poised to take this first place.
Oh yeah, the next winter title is already in one of his hands, that's for sure. Just has to play it from here, and then this looks incredible. How do you do this if you're LawLiet? Tier 3 is done. Push is coming soon. You might just lose this grand final in the next 3 minutes.
Yeah, LawLiet saw 1-0 going over here to the Merc. Of course, it's very predictable. Could have perhaps thought about being aggressive, but he needs to level himself. Panda gets the Fluid of Accuracy. That's the best item he could have hoped for. He's going to need some help.
Yeah, is that enough is the question. Devotion also, not too bad. Especially against Mass AR, especially when damage is already so low. Getting damage mitigation on top when back like a year ago or 2 years ago we thought, hey, you need anti-armor like Acid Bomb to make this even work. Now you get upgrades for free. Wonderful.
Orb of Corruption, and in we go. 1-0 creeping one more camp before the big push, but then it's going to be go time, I think. LawLiet frantically trying to get that level 3 on the Panda. And I think he's gonna get it. These items here are a big determining factor. One of Mana Seal for the DK is good. As for the Panda, we're gonna find out in a moment.
This expo also not too fortified. There's no engine of war. There doesn't seem to be a shop. There's no AP. But okay, 1-0. Willing to brawl. First nuke on the Fiend. Getting killed. Free pickup.
Here we have the first destroyer. More Fiends should be coming in soon. 1-0. Still has some supply capacity. LawLiet up at 52 supply is not where you want to be. You want to have more with his Mass Air style.
Okay, backstabbing a little bit. But there's Web, obviously. Focus fire on the Entangle. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire against all the ghouls on the ground. That was well done.
Heal Scroll came in against it. Panda next combo is going to hurt more as there's going to be no Heal Scroll anymore. Wiz coming in for the mass detonates.
Oh man.
Trying to surround. It's almost a bit overkill. Panda in trouble still. Staff must be ready for him. The DK getting entangled. And Focus, the Destroyer, not quite ready with the Dispel. And suddenly the Death Knight is in trouble. Oh, but a great timing. Dodging the coil there. And surrounding the DK almost.
Oh man. He is level 4 now. Can go for Death Pact if he wants to. The numbers just spell out an absolute utter disaster for LawLiet. There's still ghouls on the ground, 4 of them, 5 of them, against the Panda level 3.
He's got the mana potions on both heroes. Keeper and Panda are gonna try to do this. But it's so few air units. It takes a while until they get the supply up. The mass air strategy, we've seen it a lot in this tournament. It worked once and failed a whole bunch of times. This might be another failure.
Yeah, we're not even in the stage yet where you have to kite and this requires so much micro. It's just a straight up fight. Just like that.
And the statues on the ground, making sure the sustain is going to be there for the undead. Of course, the DK always has a lot of mana. The Ward of Mana Sealing actually helped out quite a bit. Mana Potion, Breath of Fire, ghouls in trouble, but the ghouls, they take forever to die, it seems like.
Yeah. Of course, Devotion Aura, nice. The statues do their job, but it's also not enough damage. Drunken Haste, Breath of Fire again, but there's still 2 statues and the push continues. He's not breaking this expo yet, so LawLiet can always claw his way back to 50 pop, but for how long?
Alright, Breath of Fire takes out 1 statue. That was a big deal. Supply now very even, but that's not what you want to have happen if you're the Night Elf. DK and Lich about to level up. Oh, and that's 3 fairies getting caught.
Oh no! I mean, it takes some time, but if you want to catch up in supply, losing 3 units for free is not what you want. Great timing. Panda nuked again. He had a heal potion. Is the staff ready for him? I doubt it, so he has to pass the TP. And Lich level 4.
Yeah, DK about to get 5. I think we're seeing the end here of the Korean. There was only 1 Chinese holding up the flag, keeping up the hope for the motherland. And it seems like he is gonna make them proud today.
Oh yeah. It's also the first tournament in a while that's not won by Night Elf. GG! 1-2-0 breaks the Night Elf curse. And we got it. We got him as the next winter champion.
1-0 continuing his year in great fashion. This may have been the last big tournament for him. Unfortunately, not able to go to DreamHack, but here he gets first place. And that puts him at the top of the earnings, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so too. Oh man. WGL went to Colorful as a Night Elf. AWL went to Moon. W3C went to Foggy. DreamHack Asia also went to Colorful. This is the first undead victory since TED Cup in October, so 6 weeks basically of only Night Elf winners. Over now! And man, 1-0 is a beast if he shows up in shape, and today was definitely his day. And he's contesting Happy as the best undead first Night Elf player in the world.
He's making a name for himself, but Happy still has quite the track record for sure. Happy's going to be tested there once again at DreamHack with Foggy there, Moon there, LawLiet there, maybe even Remind. But yeah, 1-0. Too bad we can't see him now on camera. Maybe snuggling with his cat right now to celebrate his victory.
Or throwing her through the apartment in pure joy. Yeah, that puts $7,000 to 1-0's earnings. That puts him at $54,000. And with that, he surpasses Colorful, Lin, and Moon. But of course, Moon will participate at DreamHack and get a big chunk of the $130,000 money.
Prize money. Yeah. Moon probably going to make it quite deep there. He's one of the favorites. 1-0 also would have been one of the favorites there. Would have been one of the hottest players there. Bit of a shame that the Chinese all couldn't go, but that's the way it is, with the world and the state of current affairs.
We might have some breaking news here, Mr. Remo Demo. As I'm
No
looking...
idea what you're talking about, but okay,
No,
yeah.
I'm looking at Twitter. Wait, is that enough? Holy shit. I got a tweet by Orkwolf.
Huh?
And he says... Wait, where's the window? Boom, boom, boom. According to the news from Chinese War 3 community Tieba and Weibo, SC2 boy members revealed that they will host a large-scale team league of Warcraft 3. 3 seasons a year. The prize pool is 500,000 yuan per season. That is a total of 1.5 million Chinese yuan for the whole year. And of course, as the reporter that I am, I converted the Chinese yuan to US dollar, and 500,000 yuan is 78,000 US dollars per season.
It's
that
200,000 per year.
That's more
Plus.
than 200,000 per year. That's almost 240,000 per year. If that is true, holy shit.
We all love team leagues. This would be super hype from a community tournament as well, which means we may go back to our preferred graphics also. That's pretty good. And yeah, hopefully that all works out that way. Really cool. We heard kind of rumblings about that before, right? And now they seem to say
Mikael
it's
said it
official.
on Todd's Town Hall, or hinted at it. Orkwolf says as well, however, these messages currently only exist in social communities. The news has not been officially released yet. But damn! $78,000 is pretty sick. And team leagues are pretty sick. We're joining the coverage for the Western Team League, W3IL. Prize pool, little smaller, but great games. Great games nonetheless, as we have Playing Ducks versus Thunder Ducks. That includes people like Starbuck and Krav and Johnny Cage, for example. And then we have UMAT versus Raptor Gaming that will see Mr. Remo Demo maybe in the lineup. He doesn't want to reveal it yet, but Sunday, what are you doing on Sunday, Remo? Are you busy? Or will you join me for the cast?
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, man. This is super cool. I'm looking forward to the teams. I hope the teams, if this is true, are a little more balanced than they were at WCG, where it was kind of one-sided. But yeah, looking very much forward to it. That was NeXT, though. The last Chinese Tier 1 tournament of the year, as far as we know. And now there's only DreamHack left.
The big tournament, the big world championship, the big finals. Exactly 1 week away, ladies and gents. 25th, we're going to start 4-day tournament from 25th to 28th to determine the big world champion. $130,000 prize money. An insane prize purse for these players. We showed you the groups earlier. If you haven't seen them yet, you can check them out on ESL Warcraft on Twitter. There should be a Wikipedia up by now, I guess.
Yes.
And yeah, it's gonna be pretty hypers.
Okay, I'll be back in 3 hours, 30 minutes for Creepjack. We have, of course, the league games of Slash and Florentine. It's also, we will dip a little bit into Castle Fight. And later, Carson is there for the Silver Cup and for Theorycraft. I'll be covering Gold Cup tomorrow. And then on Sunday, W3IL. 2 Clan Wars, everybody. We have a lot of Warcraft for you on this beautiful channel. Feel free to support us. Back to warcraft.com/support is where you find all the links that you need. Like our Patreon, where you get access to secret Discord channels, to podcasts, to movie and music recommendations, to replay analysis, to coaching, to fun game evenings, and so much more. We're of course very happy if you leave us your Twitch sub. If you have Amazon Prime, you can even do that for free, and we get all the monies. We're very happy about donations, of course, via Streamlabs, via PayPal or credit card. If you want to give us some bitcoins or Dogecoins, or any other coins, we have a wallet up at OneUpCoin, and we got merchandise for the cold winter season that is coming. Grab a hoodie, grab a beanie, grab a mug for some hot chocolate. And if you're looking for new hardware and maybe want to gift a new mouse or keyboard or headset to your brother or sister or mother or father or niece, whatever, check out CORSAIR. They got the best gear that we can imagine. We wear it, we use it, we love it. Use the coupon code Back to Warcraft for a 10% discount. Remo, you want to plug your OnlyFans or?
Coming soon, you know, as promised before. But yeah, guys, thank you all for tuning in today. We're going to be back later, as Neo said, and get ready. Get ready for next week, the big event. Of course, there's more stuff happening until then as well here on the channel. But Big DreamHack Finals, that's what everyone's waiting for.
Okay, guys, see you later.